Good morning or good day on this 26th day of May 2020. 2020 is an interesting year that began with a very interesting phenomena of coronavirus or COVID-19, which has completely brought a new phenomena, and after which the world will never be the same. It has given us time to think, ponder, and to think deeper, think more at an individual level, at a family level, at a national level, and globally. I have been observing many things. Me as an artist, first of all, I want to wish you a good day. Peace be with you. Tell your neighbor or the person around you that peace be with you wherever you are. And I want to share with you my observations. In art, we have a subject we call objective study, where you look at something and you study it, and you look at it more deeply with a view of designing something out of it, or being inspired to produce something new out of that object we call a motif. Looking at life, I'd like to share with you three important words that now summarize what I consider life. Life is about things, values, and sharing. Those three words: things, values, and sharing. Everything is a thing. Anything is a thing. We refer to things that this is a thing, it is something, it is a thing. Whether dead or alive, it is a thing. Everything, whether dead or alive, is important to our life. And interesting enough, most of the things have their own uniqueness. Everything has its own uniqueness. Whether dead or alive, it has its own uniqueness. In the case of living things, it is interesting to know that everything is designed in a unique way, different from any other living thing. Any living thing is unique, with a unique DNA, and even some are referred to have RNA, but DNA is the way your cells are designed, which means that everything is designed in a unique way to fulfill a unique purpose. So all living things are designed in a unique way, different from all the others, for serving or fulfilling a specific purpose. And everything has its own value. Again, whether dead or alive, everything has its own value. Values are how you relate to something. For how we relate to anything, how we relate to something depends on the value of that thing. How you relate to anything, even the dead, something which has no life in it, or what has life in it, depends on what value or what uniqueness that one has. Every living thing or every dead thing has its own value. And that brings me to the second word of value. Everything has its own individual value. And that's what determines how we relate to that thing. Depending on the value of each thing, we relate to it according to that value. If it is something dead, most of the dead things are either from living things or are created by the living things. But how we relate to each thing, how we relate to everything, it depends on what value that thing has. You can hear how many times I have talked about things. Things are not necessarily physical. Even an idea is a thing. We normally say this thing, this idea, this proposal is a thing. But it all depends on the value of it. And every value varies on how it appears to us or how we relate to it. But that value, whatever value it is, if that value is not shared, now it brings in the third word, sharing. Any value which is not shared is useless, is worthless, is as good as a dead thing. We even actually call some of the things which lose their worthiness, we say they are dead. Anything is a thing, everything has its value, and that value is useful, is worthwhile only if it is shared. Sharing starts with identifying the relationship between the unique individual thing in relation to all that goes around that thing, to the environment in which that thing survives. So you need to look at each thing. That's why I'm calling upon each of us, each of you, wherever you are. Whatever you look at, I am appealing to you. Ask yourself the question, what is the value in the thing, in this object, in this idea, in this proposal? What is the value of it? Because that's what will determine where we put priority, where we put focus, how we relate to the things and their values, and how they determine the way we share in the common environment. Since all living things are unique in their DNA, in their difference, as I have already said, it means they are meant to fulfill a specific purpose. So, sharing is the best way to express, to put in practice, to put your uniqueness to worthwhileness, or to be worthwhile. It is to bring out your value. What sort of value do you have to society in terms of the living of human beings? What value do you have in terms of the environment you live in? What value do you have in wherever you are, at whatever time, in whatever place? What value do you have for you to be a useful, worthwhile, valuable thing in that particular place? It does not matter what time, it does not matter where you are, it does not matter how young, how old, how big, how small, how rich, how poor, how whatever you are. Once you ask yourself the question of, what is my purpose in life? What am I designed to fulfill? How best can I share my values with the others? Everything is sometimes given an identity or sometimes a name. If you are called so and so, and I have not told you my name, me, this thing you are seeing is called Honorable General Elly Tumwine. That is my identity as this thing living at this time in the history of humankind, in the history of life. If I did not realize who I am, or if you don't realize who you are and what you are, where you are, and don't realize what value do you have, or what value are you to the rest of where you are be it in your family, be it in your community, be it in your nation, be it in the environment you live in, of what you as a thing, what value are you for the good of the common, for the common good of that whole environment? How are you in relation to the rest of nature around you, starting with your immediate people whom you live with, starting with the people you stay with at home, starting with the work where you work from, the community you work with, where you live as a village or as a district or as a nation or as a region, the continent, the whole globe. How do you relate to those things? And that's why I started by saying, peace be with you. And that means peace starts with having peace with God, having peace with the Creator, having peace with the Designer, having peace with the one what put everything together in its uniqueness, whichever individual the thing is, that makes most of the things round and go round and round, that design the things in a way that fit into one another and relate to one another and have values that help each other. If you have peace with your Creator, if you have peace with God, it will help you to have peace with yourself. Peace with yourself is important because some people don't have peace with themselves. Then, when you have peace with God, you have peace with yourself, it will help you to have peace with your family, your immediate spouse, your children, your relatives, your people you live with, to have peace with your community, the people you stay with, to have peace with your environment, the people in your area, the people in your nation, the people, the citizens of that nation, of the region, of the continent, and the rest of the world. But more importantly, to have peace with the rest of nature. And the having peace with the rest of nature is recognizing, first of all, that you are a thing. And as I have said, all dead things come from all the living things. And all living things depend on the dead things. That is the interesting nature of the cycle of life. There is no living thing which does not depend on the dead things. All the things we eat, what we eat, comes from what has already died. So, my message today is things, values, and sharing are the most important three words. Recognize what thing you are, what value you have, share, share, share. Peace be with you. God bless you.